Hello friends, welcome to Science with me. My name is Dr. Erica. I am so excited that you are joining us for science today. We are in the middle of our Nobel Prize winning science unit. It's so much fun. Every day you guys are going to cut out a little wedge of a Nobel Prize and you can add it all up. So at the end of this unit you have a full Nobel Prize and you've learned a whole bunch of really cool science that has completely changed the world. It's kind of amazing. If you are new, please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and get the notifications so you know when we have new videos up and new amazing science for you. And you can always support our mission at patreon.com/rosieresearch. Every little bit helps, and it's just $1 a week is our minimum subscription, so like not that much. That's a latte a month. Pretty great science for that. What we are making today is the topic of the 2019 Nobel Prize in Chemistry of lithium ion batteries. Now, if you're like, it's a battery. We had batteries before 2019. No big deal. You're right, we did. But a lot of times we would actually have to take the batteries out and throw them away when they are all done. So batteries are these chemicals that are inside these little packages, and the chemicals create these ions or electrons that want to go through a circuit. And it only creates so many of them. So if one battery has 200 electrons, once it goes through that circuit and those 200 electrons run their little circuit and light up that LED or do whatever you want, run the fan, then that battery is dead. And we have to throw it away and then put in a new battery with 200 more little electrons who are got their running shoes on and ready to run through that circuit again. But you might be saying, Dr. Erica, we don't have to throw every battery out. I mean, people charge their computers. We're not like going through our laptops and be like, oh man, the battery's out, and then like flipping it over and undoing it and then taking out all the AA batteries and tossing those in and getting a bunch of AA's. We don't do that. We plug it into the wall, which is amazing. In fact, that's why it won the Nobel Prize. We didn't have these rechargeable batteries that they worked as well as they do now. And so what these rechargeable batteries do is when we got our 200 electrons that they're running shoes on, they run through that circuit, they light up their LED, they run the fan, and then they're all kaput at the end of the day and it looks like the battery's dead. We can plug it into the wall, and what happens is we put a reverse current and those little electrons kind of get pulled backwards and they get recharged to the other side so that we can unplug it and we can run those electrons through the circuits again. Now, we can't create a lithium ion battery at home. That would have lots of chemicals and would not be safe for our health. But we can create a battery, which is really cool, and you don't need that much to do it. Because as I mentioned before, a battery is just chemicals sort of separating those charges, those little electrons, those charges that can go through the circuits. And we can do that with stuff you have at home. So what you need for this is some pennies. The shinier, the better. So if you have a stack of pennies, pick out the really pretty shiny ones that we can make ugly and tarnished. You're gonna need some cardboard, not a ton, but you'll need some cardboard. You'll need some aluminum foil to make this project. We need some vinegar, which is gonna be what we call our electrolyte. That's gonna help things move through our circuit. I have a bowl because we are gonna soak our cardboard in some vinegar. You need a pair of scissors and a Sharpie so that we can trace around our pennies to make our nice little battery. And if you want to do the bonus project, you need either a multimeter, which can measure the voltage that's going across it, or you need a LED, which just dropped on the floor as I picked up my voltmeter. And then you might need some tape too. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take your penny and your cardboard and you're just gonna trace around your penny and cut it out. Now, I've already cut a few out. The more that you do, the taller you can make your battery, and the more cells you'll have in the battery, and the more cells you have, the larger the voltage, so the stronger your battery will become. So once you've traced around it, you're just going to cut these little circles out. All right. I would suggest more than one if you want to try to light up an LED. But you can just make one and you'll still be able to measure a voltage if you just have one. It's pretty amazing. LEDs will take somewhere, depending on your LED, it'll take somewhere between, 3 to 5 to 9 or 10 of these little pieces that we're going to make of our battery. All right, so there's another one. So I'm just going to cut 3 out right now as we go through this. Hopefully that'll put me, I think that puts me at 8. Hopefully that will light up an LED, we'll see. But we can measure the voltage across the 2 sides as we go. All right, now these are just plain old boring pieces of cardboard right now. We really need to soak them in an electrolyte that will help get everything moving. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just put them in our bowl and you just pour some vinegar on top. I got some apple cider vinegar. Any vinegar should work. So we're just gonna let these guys sit there and soak while we do the rest of our project. Then they'll be ready for us in a few minutes. We want them to be nice and soaked up though. So I'll just press these guys down, make sure they get in there and start soaking beautifully. The next thing we need is we also need aluminum. So we need 2 types of metals. And in this project, what's going to happen is the copper ions are going to come off. Those are positively charged. And we're also going to have some negatively charged ions from our aluminum. And that will help make this thing where they want to go around and around. It'll separate the charges. And charges don't like to be separated. Right? So they're always going to try to get back together. And that is what will light our circuit up. With the foil, I'm going to do a trick so I only have to cut out 1 penny. And that is, I'm just going to fold my foil over a bunch of times. And each fold will give me essentially 1 piece of penny. So I'll trace around my penny and I'll get a whole bunch of discs when I cut this out, which is kind of nice. I'm going to cut slightly smaller. I'm cutting a little bit smaller than the penny because I don't want things to be over and be able to connect by accident. I want things to be separated. So you can cut right on the line to make sure it's good or just slightly under. I'm just going to follow this. All right. So now you see I've got all these beautiful little pieces. Now we are ready to assemble our penny battery. These ones are not rechargeable. We can't plug them into a wall, but they'll still make light, which is going to be amazing. So you're going to start first on the very bottom. You're going to put a penny, and then you're going to put your nice piece of soaked cardboard. I'm just going to make sure I get all the air. Sometimes the thinner cardboard works really nice for this because you don't have those air bubbles in between. I'm just going to make sure I push all these air bubbles out. So it's nice and soaked paper. It's really what we want here. All right, so now I'm going to take one of these and I'm going to just stick it right on top of that penny. And then I'm going to take 1 piece of aluminum foil. That looks like 2. Take 1 piece of aluminum foil. And I'm going to put that right on top there. Now, if you get 2 pieces of foil, it's not going to be a big deal, just so you guys know. And then that's 1 battery cell right there. What I can do, though, is I can keep building it up. So I'm going to take another of my shiny pennies, put it right on top of that foil. And then I'm going to put another piece of my soaked cardboard right here. Another piece of foil. And I can keep going. Again, the more that I build this, copper, and then cardboard, and then foil, the stronger my battery is going to be. And you do just want to make sure that nothing kind of goes down the sides to like connect things together. And we can measure this with a voltmeter. So if you have a voltmeter, you're going to want to go into your smallest setting, because this is not like we're attaching a car battery or a 9-volt battery. It doesn't matter. Voltmeters will read positive or negative, so they're not like LEDs where they're one-way streets. But if you want to read a positive one, you're going to put the red piece on the piece that looks red. Just so happens that they line up, where the copper looks kind of reddish, and it's actually going to be our positive terminal. All right, so what you would do to measure the voltage is you need to touch the penny on the bottom and then touch the top piece of foil. And you'll notice that I'm reading 1,330 or so. Now this is in millivolts, so this is really about 1.5 volts. Right now we're getting close to 1.5 volts. if I wanted to light up an LED, I need more than 1.5 volts. Usually you need about 3 volts to light up an LED. So let's keep going. I'm gonna add my penny, and then I will add my cardboard and my piece of foil. And I'm gonna do that a couple more times, and then we can remeasure and see what we get. Now, each unit should give you about the same amount of voltage. All right, there we go. Now let's do one more, and then we'll remeasure again and see what we have here. So again, penny, it's always penny, cardboard, and then foil. You don't want to put cardboard between every layer, just between the penny and the foil, not the foil and the penny. It's a little tricky like that. All right, so now we can try again. So let's see what we have here. Let's check it. We'll bring this guy in for everybody to look at. All right, is it better if I flip this?
No.
That's good. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna put, again, the red on the bottom touching that copper penny. And then this one goes on the top. Ooh, I'm at 1.6. I'm curious if I press it down, do I get more? Oh. Ooh, notice sometimes when I press it, I actually get less, which means I'm contacting some of those layers. All right, so I need a few more layers of this. And you can see how many layers do you need to get to make it. Okay, my bottom layer just wiped out by accident with extra liquid. To try to light up an LED. Now, what I would do if you're really trying to light up that LED is try and see if you can do it in the dark, because the LED is going to be really, really faint. Another way that you could do this is you could actually do it with a tiny light bulb, like a light bulb. I don't even know if all flashlights have those anymore, but they used to come with actual real light bulbs with the little filament, and those will start to glow no matter what the voltage. There's no like sort of starting and stopping. All right, so now we have this beautiful stack like that. And if you want to try and see if you can get an LED to light, what you can do is you can cut yourself some wire out of this foil. I'm just gonna cut a thin strip, and what I'm gonna do with this thin strip, I'm actually gonna fold it a couple times so it's a little stronger. Just because foil can rip really easily. So we're just gonna fold this in half like a hot dog. A really long and skinny hot dog a few times. I'm gonna do it one more time. Just like this. All right. And we'll see if we can light up an LED. I'm not entirely sure if we'll be able to. I want 2 wires, one for the top and one for the bottom, so I'm just gonna cut this in half, like that. And all I need to do is put this bottom wire underneath that penny. So I'm just gonna wipe up that excess. I'm gonna put my penny right on top of that, and then put the rest of the stack there, and I'll put this one right on top. All right, and then we're gonna pause, and I'm gonna go find the LED. All right, so we are back. I have my tiny little blue LED. I checked that this LED works on a coin cell battery, and we do need to make sure that we take note of the long leg and the short leg. And if this is going to work, we need our long leg on the copper part and our short leg on the part that touches the foil. So now I, of course, have no copper part, but this piece of foil that's coming off the bottom of the penny, that's kind of like my copper part. And then if we just connect these, I've already forgotten which one's long and short. There's my long leg. If we connect these, we can see if it dimly lights up our LED. Let's see. Oh, I don't know if this isn't gonna quite do it. We can always flip it and double check that we've got that right. Your long leg should go with the copper part. This one's not big enough yet. I don't have any more cardboard to build this even taller. But if you build it even taller, you will get to a point where it will light up an LED for you, which will be totally amazing. I'm super glad that we had our voltmeter though, so that we could see how it is changing that voltage as we go. And we can, of course, test it across these two pieces too. Ooh, I gotta touch that down. Ooh, yeah, see, I'm only getting 1.2 volts right now, so I'd have to double the size of this to really get that LED going. But you could do that at home. You could cut some more cardboard pieces, and if you wanted to, you could find a way to tape them all together. We just need to make sure that things don't sort of fold down the sides and touch the rest of them. But that is our fun little penny battery as we explore batteries during Nobel Prize winning science, because that won the Nobel Prize for Chemistry in 2019. It's pretty major. All of these lithium ion batteries are like everywhere now. And it's great to have the ability to recharge. You know, cars need things to recharge nowadays. Bikes need things to recharge. It's kind of amazing how big of a change this is going to be for our environment and our ability to really go green and use solar power that can charge batteries to then either drive or bike or see in the dark, who knows, or do our work. All of those things are now made possible by those winners of the 2019 Nobel Prize. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was awesome making a penny battery with you. I hope you join us for the rest of Nobel Prize winning Science Week as we learn about black holes, high energy physics, and even quantum computing. That's going to be pretty amazing. All right, have a great one. We'll see you guys later.